Hello, today I'd like to tell you a really good strategy about how to give a fantastic introduction to part 2 of the Ielts speaking test. Most people will start with a simple phrase. Today I'm going to talk about. However, this is a little bit too simple and we can use some very useful phrases to increase our score by using more idiomatic and complex structures for our introduction to part 2. And this strategy can be used for every single topic that you could ever get for part 2. So there are 3 steps to this. First step is talking about multiples. For example, there are many that I. For example, there are many events that I regularly attend. Instead of many, if there are lots and lots of things you could talk about, you could use so many. For a lower number, you could say there are a few. And if it's something you've never encountered before, just say this is a subject or this is a topic that I have never encountered before. Step 2 is to use an idiom in conjunction with a conditional sentence. But if I had to choose one off the top of my head, then I think I would choose, for example, but if I had to choose one off the top of my head, then I think I would choose a recent wedding that I attended. Step 3 is to say why and provide a reason why. You could also use a more interesting adjective. I'd like to tell you about this wedding because it was an incredible wedding and it really made a deep impact on me. You could also say, I chose this topic because, and give a reason. Some better adjectives would be, for example, instead of interesting, it could be something like inspiring, engaging. A lot of people say, oh, it really attracted me. But this is the wrong context to use attracted. Instead, you could use a more complex adjective or synonym, such as, it really captivated my attention. It was in a really alluring event. Thank you. Those are the 3 steps to making your part 2 introduction of a much higher standard and level. So, for example, if the topic was describe a city you would like to visit. This is how you could make this introduction. There are so many urban areas that I would like to visit all around the world. But I suppose if I had to choose one off the top of my head, then I think the urban area that I would like to choose and talk about would be Paris. And I'd like to tell you about Paris in more detail. Because it's a city that I've never had to experience yet, but it's one that I find really alluring because it has a very international reputation for being a romantic city and a beautiful city to visit.